afternoon everybody, welcome to another video. Welcome as well to, as you can see behind me, Small River. This is a tributary of the Warwickshire Avon. Now if you saw the last video, I came out and did some trotting for Chub. This is the same river. I said I was going to go upstream from that stretch we were at before, and this is exactly what I've done for this session. Very different day though, isn't it? If you didn't see the last video, I'll stick a link to it up there. But it's a very different day. Today's weather is what they forecast for that session. Windy, reasonably windy and sunny. So I think it might be a struggle. We can fish into dark though. It's mid-afternoon now. We can fish into dark. So we've got perhaps 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. Now I have brought with me, again, a bit of a two-pronged attack. I'd love to do some trotting. I'd love to run the flow through. And I've had a walk up this stretch. I've never been up here before. I've had a walk up here, and there's a few swims I think I could try, and even in this wind. It's very gusty. What's really prompting me to come out today is the fact that for the next 4 or 5 days we're forecast really windy weather. We're forecast rain in the night, sort of 3-4 degree rain, which is going to obviously chill the water just as it starts to warm up, sort of approaching spring. So that's what's prompting me to come out today, although I wouldn't normally come out in these conditions really. But yeah, I've got two-pronged attack. I'm going to trot if I can in a few swims, but what I've done as well is brought a ledger rod with me, just in case there's a few swims where we need to get right under some cover and sort of tuck a bait or run a link ledger under some cover where we can't get a float really. But ideally I'd like to fish the floats, but of course we can fish a ledger into dark as well. There's no night fishing on this stretch, but obviously you can fish into dark, and we can certainly fish till it gets properly dark. So the water, it's a bit clear and a bit low to be honest. 2 foot of visibility, something like that, and it's pretty low, so that doesn't bode well either, certainly not in these conditions. I think we may struggle certainly until it starts to get dark. But I've had a walk up the stretch. As I said, I've never been up here before. I've had a walk up, put a little bit of bait in, 3 swims now that looked tasty, shall we say. So yeah, we'll start at the top, work our way down, see if we can winkle anything out. Now, eagle-eyed viewers will notice that we're on the opposite bank to the one we were on last time. That is right. The club has access to both banks from here, but the left bank is the one that gets fished most. So I decided to come up this way because it looked much more difficult access on the other bank. I'll come right to the top of the stretch, as you can see. I'm going to run float down here. We've got some cover down there, as you can see, a bit further down. May well be that these swims are better fished with a little feeder or on the link ledge. You know, we can plonk it in there, but it'd be nice to run a float around, get the lie of the land a little bit. We can always switch over, but I'm going to start now. I haven't touched on baits, have I? Very, very simple day. I've got some maggots, about 1.5 pints of maggots, mixed coloured maggots. Not really intending on using them. Got a little bit of ground bait as well, some Senses 3000. Not really intending on using that either. Mainstay today is going to be mashed bread with bread flake on the hook. It's been pretty good to me lately, so I think we'll carry on with that. Right, enough talking. Let's get this rod set up and we'll get a bait in the water. Now I've got with me my trusty Daiwa Tournament Pro. Coupled with that, a Abu Garcia 506 Mark II closed face reel. We've already got some interlopers in the swim, which are probably not going to leave me alone. So we're already being held up. I certainly can't throw any mashed bread in with him, otherwise they're never going to leave. But yeah, we can always run a bait around in here, in this cover. And as I say, we can run it down there as well. Run it down, off down to that bit of a raft down there. We can move a bit closer down there if we need to as well. Hopefully this pair will clear off pretty quickly. We can actually get on. So let's put in. It's not really a great deal of flow, to be honest, to work this float down. Tells me it must be reasonably deep in here, I think. Maybe the case that we're better off in here with a ledge gear. Oh, blimey. Pay attention, I wasn't even looking. I've got a bite. I'm in the tree. Oh, what a mess. I'm in the tree. Can't find my way out the tree. Right, I think I'm going to have to... This rod is just too long for this swim. I'll do a lot with this. I'm going to try and let it fish. Try and let the fish. Oh, what a pickle! Well, it's over there. I got him. Right. What a pickle. Struck into him, completely forgot this tree was here and managed to get wrapped up in this tree. Right. While he's in the water there, we'll extract a line from the tree. Well, what a kerfuffle that was, but there we go. Got him in. Fantastic. Lovely job, first run through. Managed to get my gear out of the tree. But yeah, I definitely need to be a bit more careful. This rod is a bit long for this swim really, but as I strut, I just completely goes out of your mind, doesn't it? So what we're going to do is put this fella in the edge down here, just in the net. Give it another 5 or 10 minutes in here. Fingers crossed we can have a few more out, but do a slightly better job of it than that. I'm not going to stick it out here, it's just too awkward. We'll say that like the look of that. Those rafts down there, there's got to be some chub under there. We can try and winkle them out with a float, see if we can pull them out with a bit of feed. Run the float down to them, and if not, we can always go on perhaps a link ledger. Right, we'll just get off just down, a bit further down there. Right, let's see if we can draw any chub out of there. With a bit of mashed bread. Messy stuff. Been just feeding it for a couple of minutes whilst I've just been sorting the gear out. And one of those days today where the gear is just getting stuck in absolutely everything. Everything to me, it's getting stuck in old bits of cow parsley and stinging nettles, just everything. You've got to laugh, haven't you? You've got to laugh, or you just snap your rod across your knee and go. Right. Hopefully, we'll do another one out. Hope we don't have the bite first cast jinx. Hopefully we can have a couple more out. Or a few more out would be nice. I can't believe there's not any under that raft, but we might be a bit better off here with a link ledger, but we'll have a go with the float first. Got a bait moving down to it and just see if we can wink one out and float. Bit risky because you don't quite know what's under the water. Bit of a swim here as well, so it clearly gets fished. So, change of swim, change of headwear, because it's cold, really cold. And then this is a swim. Again, I'll never fish any of these swims, but this one I did bait up earlier. Just put a bit of mashed bread in here. Just if there's anything around, get it interested. Obviously we're on a bend that goes around that way. It looks, look at some weed beds in front of us, some old reeds. We can run the float perhaps through there. I'm not sure how deep it is. I don't think it's particularly deep. Certainly not. Just wondering if we can get the landing net ready, just in case. We can run that through there. There's bound to be some tree roots and stuff in the water down here. Well, absolutely nothing doing in that. I'm not going to stick around. Light levels are starting to drop, which is good. Sun's gone in as well. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the next swim. The next one does look a nice swim. The next one I baited up downstream, so we'll get down there. So guys, unfortunately, the sun has come out over there, or almost. So I can't really film down that way, otherwise you're going to see absolutely nothing. So for now, hopefully it'll go back in. I'm going to have to film this way, which means you don't get to see the float going down and etc. But as I say, I'll do what I can. Quite nice trot down here. I'm trotting down to, as you probably just saw, hopefully just saw, just about, to a right hand bend. I'm about 20 metres or so above a right hand bend. It just looks like there's some nice water here. It looks fairly sluggish, which tells me it's quite a bit of depth to it, which would be good in these conditions at the moment, because water being so clear. It's not, you know, classic snaggy chub swim, but you never know, we might be able to winkle a fish out here. Might be some roach in here perhaps, although with that sun coming back out again, I think we're not going to really catch any roach, but who knows. Just running down there nicely. You've got a nice upstream breeze, so though it's absolutely freezing cold, it's just checking that float nicely. We'll give it half an hour in here. It's a nice swim to fish. Let's see if we can't winkle a fish or two out. It's a nice run down. I have to put the cap back on. Well, still here, still having a go. Now if you did see the last video, it's over there where I was stood, just on the other side. We've come all the way down to the bottom. Well, certainly of this side of the stretch anyway. Got a few minutes left yet before we have to concede defeat. Bit of mash to get rid of. But I'm not sure how much of it's going to be on the float. Right. I mean, we got 5 or 10 minutes to be able to see that float. You can see it better than I can actually, to be honest. on there. Well, it went under. Whether it was a bite, I don't know. Oh, well, I thought I had the bottom. Clearly not. Well, finally a bite. Looks like a nice bite. Looks like we have coaxed him out from underneath the raft. Come on. Oh wow. Fantastic. We've had one. Wonderful. Well, there we are. That's definitely worth the wait. Absolutely fantastic. Alright, belly on him. Wonderful stuff. I had to work hard for this one. Right, I reckon we've got a few more minutes left yet. We'll crack on. See if we can winkle at his big brother. Well, I've not got a long trot down there here, fortunately. Which is a good job because this float is very, very, very difficult to see. Oh, there we go, another one. Blimey. Wow. God, blimey. Really pulling. Trying to get in the cover on the other side. Succeeding, I think. Come on. Wow. Blimey. There we go. Let's go beaten. Certainly out of there anyway. Trotting in the almost dark. Just shows you don't never go home too early. So look, up you can see. Well, I said perhaps we could have his big brother. I think we have. It looks bigger. Blimey, what a brace that is. Wow. Right, we'll then get his breath back. We'll get sorted out and we'll have a look at him. Wow. Well, it certainly is bigger. What a cracking session in the end. It was hard going, wasn't it? But to finish with a brace like that, absolutely wonderful. Fantastic. Well, see if we can hold them both up for you. Just about. How's about that? Cracking stuff. Right, I'm not going to keep them out of the water. Let's get them back in. Well rested up now. Well, I've just been packing the gear away. You ready to go? One of them is, one of them isn't. Off you go. Spat out some bread as he went. Fab. Well, after all that graft this afternoon, we spent 5 minutes in this last swim and caught two lovely chub like that. It's fishing, isn't it? Just getting dark. I thought it would be a struggle early on, and we had the jinx of the early bite as well, and all that absolute nightmare I had with that tree. But all sorted, got all the gear out, got the fish in, so it wasn't a problem. And yeah, lesson learned. Now I think shan't be out for a few days, as I mentioned earlier. There's some weather due, some big winds due, some rain. It's going to put the water temperatures down. So I think perhaps next time I'll be out in a few days, after this wind has gone past, in about 3 or 4 days' time. So until then, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Got there in the end. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support, and I'll see you all again very soon.